Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Asics Novablast, and I'm currently on my second pair. I know I had told you guys that I would do a review on it after I got in about 50 miles. Actually, I put about 400 miles on the first pair and ended up getting a second pair, and ran with them today, and same as the first pair, so that's always a good sign. Now, I've had them for a while. Went on a lot of different runs. Very similar to the Nike Zoom X. Um, and This is a very bouncy, responsive shoe. I did feel a big difference from my other shoes with the extra cushioning of this Nova Blast. And very, very good. From the mid to the heel, that extra foam is very, very helpful for me particularly. This shoe is a very popular shoe, and as you can see, the outsole is great. Um, it's not a full piece, but it's engineered in the perfect areas to give you really good grip and stability there. I ran a couple times where the pavement was a little bit slick or wet. Was on a kind of a on a walk path that was wet and didn't have any problems with the tread at all. The outsole was great. Now the midsole is bouncy and energetic, as you can see. Comparing it to the Nike Zoom X Invincible Run, I'm not sure exactly which one is bouncier. They're both pretty bouncy and both pretty energetic. They both provided a lot more energy and bounce than my other running shoes. And so I was very, very happy with that. I lean toward more shoes that give me additional support and bounce. And I was very happy that my first pair is on over 400 miles and still in good shape. I didn't really need to buy a second pair, but someone had told me that this color scheme is actually going to be not available soon, so I went ahead and ordered another pair. Excuse me. I felt that this was a great all-around shoe. Now, yes, you can use it as a day trainer. You can use it for tempo runs. You can use it for long runs. I thought overall it was a great all-around shoe. Now, I went ahead and got the 9.5, which is what I typically get. It is a great all-around shoe that does come true to size, and I felt that it was very durable. Have over 400 miles on it, and it seems like it can still last a couple hundred more easily. Now, to give you a little bit of the sizing of this, there's a 10 millimeter heel drop. The heel height is 32 millimeters, and I felt like the heel cup was perfect. Not too stiff, not too soft. I felt that the engineered mesh upper and the multi-directional mesh material improves the ventilation and stability. So let me give you a closer view of that. And so I felt that both the heel cup had that extra padding in there, and the tongue itself didn't have nearly as much padding as some of my other shoes that I've shown you before, but I thought it was more than adequate. And I ran in these shoes on hot days. I ran in kind of a not real hard rain, but in the morning there was a couple days there where I ran in them where it was sprinkling and my feet stayed completely dry, and so I didn't think that there was much of a problem in terms of the ventilation at all. I know some people had said, hey, their feet isn't able to breathe as well on a really hot day, but I ran in probably 100, I think it was 101 one day, and I ran in it, and that was one of my longer runs, and I felt that it breathed just fine. I thought the mesh material was really good. Now, where is all this foam coming from? Well, they call it a flight foam blast. It's lightweight. And from the midsole foam with energetic and high response cushioning is what it says. And it says for bounce for efficient ride. And I have to agree with all those things. Now the forefront height is about 22 millimeters. I felt that that extra bounce was really good on the days where I had back-to-back long runs. Most of my running was on flat surfaces and on pavement or on walkways, and had no problems with that. I felt that compared to my other running shoes, that the um, Novablast was the Asics Novablast was, taking that bounciness to another level, and I like that. Now I know that the shoe weighs just under 10 ounces for my size, and which is perfectly fine. Um, I know that these shoes have been kind of flying off the shelves because they're very popular shoes, and especially with this Novablast color style scheme, they're selling out in a lot of areas. So I went ahead and picked up this pair just before I know some of these new other lines are coming in. I did order some additional Asics shoes that are just coming out, and I think one is being delivered this Friday. And so I'll give you a overview of the new Asics that are coming in. Now, which Asics did I buy? I'll have to take a look at that. I believe I got the Asics Nusa Tri 13. I think that's the one I got, and I got the multi color. Just kind of similar in terms of makeup as like the color scheme of this, but the Nusa Tri 13s are going to be more of greens and blues. Excuse me, and and I'll go ahead and start running with those probably on Saturday. Run with them through the weekend and all of next week while I head on into the office and go for some runs in the afternoon. So I'll give you a kind of an update on how that works out. In terms of the differences from my other running shoes, I found that the responsiveness of this shoe was really exceptional. Um, it can be an everyday all-around shoe, but I felt that whether I did short runs, tempo runs, or long runs, it was a good shoe for all three of those aspects. Now I do have some shoes that are dedicated for more speed runs and more shorter runs that doesn't provide as much of the bounciness. Also, I didn't run through like the soccer field area this time, and so the tread was fine for where I was running. I do have to say though, out of the few dozen times that I ran with these shoes, 3 dozen times I ran in these shoes, there was probably, I want to say there was 2 situations where I hit a crack in the pavement on one area, and then I got off the pavement to go around a couple walkers, and my inside portion of my shoe, when I got off the pavement and went to the left, kind of tweaked my ankle a little bit. I mean, in terms of tweaking, it didn't tweak my ankle where it hurt, but definitely I took a kind of a weird step, and that was partly, I think, has to do with such a high heel in terms of that flight foam that's on there. But in terms of the outsole, I thought it was great, very durable. I felt that it was everything I was hoping for it to be. Everybody was telling me that since you like bouncy shoes or responsive shoes, that this would be a really good shoe. And I alternated between this shoe and the Nike Zoom X Invincible run, and they were both bouncy and squishy and responsive. And so, of course, you're going to ask me, which one do you prefer? Well, I like them both, to tell you the truth. I thought both were really exceptional. I think both of them, for people who are looking more to have their feet more on the ground, may not like the moussiness and the high heel drop of these type of shoes. And so if you want your feet more to the ground, then this shoe is probably not for you. But if you want an all-around shoe for short runs, long runs, tempo runs. I think this would be great. Now, if you're going to be trekking through some uneven areas, maybe this shoe may not be more stable enough for you, and so you may want to look at a different shoe if you're going to be in uneven areas. I didn't have any spills or anything like that, but I did take two kind of unusual steps where one time it was kind of a crack in the pavement when I kind of got off the walk path, and then another time I just hit walked around some, I think some branches or tree trunks were kind of protruding out of the ground, and I took a kind of a weird step as I was going around the bend. And so, other than those two times, ran in them many times and didn't have a problem with that. But I can understand how if you hit something that's a little bit not flat or even, you may take a kind of a weird step. And other than that, I thought the shoe worked great. I love the look of the shoe. I like the feel of the shoe. I like the breathability. I thought it did everything I wanted it to do. Now, the price point, $150, a little bit on the pricey side. By the time you pay tax and shipping and other things, it can run you $165, $175, which is a little bit on the higher end for these type of running shoes, and I know that might turn off some people. It was actually cheaper than the Nike Zoom X Invincible run, so that's one plus. But other than that, it's probably about $20 to $35 more expensive than a lot of other shoes that are kind of in that kind of spectrum. But overall, I give it a thumbs up on these shoes, and I plan on using these second pair throughout this summer, and looking forward to trying out on my other Asics that will be here on Friday, hopefully, and I'll give you a report on that. So take care.